And if you still think you can stop us, don't forget, I'm invincible.
I just made the best. I'm a huge fan of... I've read the entire series multiple times, and I'm all caught up on the show, which means I am completely out of Viltrumite content to consume. But instead of falling into a hole of despair like the rest of the fan base,
where is he? Where is Omni-Man?
I'm gonna show you a step-by-step guide of how to make your very own blue suit In order to get this, we need to start with the base body. For this custom, I'm using the Nodaman 01. This is a buffer base body out of the 3 Nodamans. Nodamen? I would say this is one of the better base bodies on the market, but it has one fatal flaw. The elbow joint is prone to snapping, so my advice if you're buying this base body is to make sure to heat the shoulder area on both sides and never swivel the arm from the forearm. Always grab the bicep. That aside, as long as you're careful, this is a great base body. You can find these on eBay and AliExpress. Now that we have our base body, we need our super suit.
Where is my super suit?
Haha!
As always, my boy C4 Charles has the Invincible suits. He does fantastic work, and I've shouted him out a few times on my TikTok. But to be honest, I can't sing his praises enough because this project wouldn't have been possible without him. He's taken on the entire Invincible series and been producing suits around it for, I don't know, like 2-3 years now. I've used his Omni-Man suits, his Thrag suit, and even his Conquest suit.
I am so lonely.
So go check him out, C4 Charles on Instagram. Okay, for those of us following along at home, we have our base body and our super suit.
Let's go!
The gauntlets and boots I'm using are 3D printed pieces that I got from KNU Toys. KNU Toys is actually going to be making their very own suit along with this kit that also includes shoulder pads, a neck piece, and 2 alternate head sculpts that are different from the ones that I'm showing here. So it's something to look forward to. Now I have to paint the boots black. In regards to what black paint you should use, honestly, it's dealer's choice. I usually use Vallejo Black or Pro Acrylic. I like Pro Acrylic more because of the fact that it goes on so smooth. As for the gauntlets and hands, we're going to be using Vallejo Dark Blue. It's a perfect match to the suit straight out of the bottle. You don't have to adjust it at all. We're actually going to be using this for the mask portions on the head sculpts as well. So now we have the boots painted in black, the gauntlets and hands painted in blue. So it should look something like this. So now all that's left is the head. Even though the Invincible series is becoming increasingly popular and the overall design of Invincible is pretty simplistic, most head sculpts end up looking something like this. Or this. I was going for a more realistic look for my Invincible custom, so I opted for 2 different artists to get 2 different expressions, and they actually look like they're made by the same designer. The neutral head is designed by Frickin', and he does amazing realistic style head sculpts. And the screaming head sculpt is made by Hugo SJM. Check these guys out on 3D Cults, they both do amazing work. I had Slow Ship and Omega Doom help me fit these and slice these specifically for the Nodaman 01. Then I printed them in vanilla resin to really help out with our next step, which is painting the head. In this segment, I'm going to show you to the best of my ability how to achieve realistic skin tones for your models. By no means am I the first to think of this idea. Like all of my painting skills, I have adapted other methods and made a hybrid method that suits me. We're going to start this off with Tamiya Clear Red. If you're airbrushing, I recommend for every 1 drop of Tamiya Clear Red, you use 8 to 10 drops of water to thin it down a bunch. That's the key with this method, is to thin layers to build up tones for a great finish. I've seen a few creators use this method, Flashpoint Customs being one of the main ones. He's doing great videos on how to brush these tones on, so go check him out. The reason I'm opting to airbrush these tones on instead of traditional brushing is because it's more even with the airbrush and I feel as though I have more control. The brush method, if you don't know what you're doing, the washes can pool in specific areas. You can put too much wash on, and when you go to dab it off, you can't control how much you take off and how much you leave on the sculpt. The red tone is to give the illusion of blood flow under the skin, We're then going to go in with the same ratio for our sepia wash. The sepia wash dulls and blends the red a bit. Think of it as putting a skin layer over the blood we just created. I'm gonna end up sounding like a broken record, but thin layers are essential to this method. Small adjustments to get that realistic look. Like I had mentioned in the last segment, I printed these in vanilla resin because it's essential to achieve this overall look. If you try this on other color resin, it won't have the same effect. Once we cover up the sculpts in sepia, then I go back over the areas that have more blush on the face, like the nose, cheeks, tips of the ears, and the chin. Go light, because it is really easy to mess this part up and difficult to fix. Once you go over the blushed areas with sepia, our sculpt may be looking a little too tan, so what we need to do is lighten it up again using Tamiya Clear Blue. This will pale the sculpt out. We use the same ratio, and you could even probably do 10 to 12 drops of water because you just want it to be super thin without the sculpt appearing blue. This will again further blend out those blushed areas and even give the illusion of blue vessels onto the surface to some degree. We're working on a small 1/12 scale, so the bigger you go with this, the more realistic it'll come across. Once you finish with the blue, it's right back to the sepia wash to bring it all together, doing a final layer. Think of it as adding a last skin tone layer over everything. This should be the final result for the skin tones when you're all done. Once you get used to the method, it gives great results. Now we're moving on to painting the details of the sculpts. For the black portions, I'm using Pro Acrylic Charcoal Black. Again, I like this because it goes on
silky smooth, I tell you this.
It's okay if you're dipping onto the mask because we're covering that up with blue anyway, so you don't have to be super precise. With any sculpt, I always start with the details that are going to be painted over so I can be a little lax with the paint overlap. If I didn't do this, I'd be holding my breath the entire time I paint, and I would have passed out by this point of the video. On the other hand, the goggles, you do have to be precise with the application, because there are sections that are extremely close to the skin tone we worked so hard to achieve. That's the scary thing about that specific skin tone method, is that if you bleed super thin paint onto the sculpt, it soaks into that perfect skin tone, and it's extremely difficult to get rid of without damaging the skin underneath. I would say for these sculpts you can opt for a more traditional paint job on the skin portions because the resin tinting method, even though it looks great, it's high risk, low reward because there's such little skin showing, as opposed to a fully unmasked character like Omni-Man, where it really gets a chance to shine. For the blue portions of the mask, we're using the same blue we used on the gauntlets and the hands, Vallejo Dark Blue. Again, be super careful not to dip into the open skin areas like the face and the ears. I kind of prefer the Screaming head sculpt because it has harsh outlines that block off the colors super well, whereas the neutral sculpt doesn't have those same separations, so you just gotta get as close as possible without crossing onto any other color. Painting the inside of the mouth, I used Burnt Red by Pro Acrylic. Again, we want to start with the mouth, because it's going to be painted over with the teeth. This prevents us from having to work around the pearly whites and instead just adding them later. My advice when painting sculpts like this, you should always break it down into sections. Always start with the easier details, then go in later with the finer details, because it's really difficult to work around fine details, and when you screw them up, it's annoying. I'm using Tamiya Clear Red, thinned down a bunch for the tone on the lips. Same thought process as the skin tone, we're just tinting it. If you go too heavy, it'll look like he has lipstick on, and that's not the look we're going for.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Not at all.
Painting the teeth, similar to painting eyes, they appear more white because of the surrounding areas, but they aren't perfectly white. If you make them just stark, plain white, they won't look right. Get what I'm saying? So I used a blend of faded ultramarine, bright warm gray, and ivory to get the tone that I wanted, all by Pro Acrylic. I paint each individual tooth with a thin detailing brush, leaving a little red to give the look of gums around the tooth. After sealing the sculpts in a satin finish and then adding UV resin for the reflective areas, boom, the sculpts are finally done. I have each one of the head sculpts lined up against a more traditionally painted head sculpt, and you can really notice the difference between painting a head sculpt and tinting using washes.
Very cool.
I love how this custom turned out. I maintain that this is the best Invincible custom in the game. I've given you the entire recipe as well as a step-by-step of how I put it all together, so now my one wish is that you guys make one even better than mine. This was a very time-consuming process, but well worth it in the end. If you guys like my paintwork, check out decentcustomsworkshop.com. I have tons of custom sculpts on there from various artists all around the community. with painted options and blank options so you guys can try painting on your own. I also sell full figures there from time to time, so check it out to see what I have up. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. So now if you guys would excuse me, I have to go back down to my painting dungeon and finish up some orders. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.